Good evening, friends. Welcome to Faith Talk with Chandra Thomas. Faith Talk is a podcast that's dedicated to worshiping our Lord Jesus Christ in our everyday lives. You can visit my website at ChandraThomas.com. You can also follow me on Facebook as Chandra Thomas. And on Instagram is Dearest Chandra. Let's get down to it. For the first time in history, I've never had a guest on my show this entire time I've been hosting Faith Talk. But in the near future, I will. Now, I haven't officially planned any lineups yet, but I'm working on it. In fact, I told a few people that I was doing a podcast. Well, I'm doing 3 podcasts now. That I never taken the time to have guests. So I'm planning in between October and November. That will be my time to have guests on the show. So I'm not going to be on this podcast very long because, as you can tell by my voice, I'm kind of tired because I've been exercising and this morning I meditated, but yesterday, for the first time ever, I started back doing yoga again. But today, earlier this morning, I really cleaned up in my living room today before I logged in to go to work. That's pretty much exercise for me. So yes, what do you like to do? Like chore-wise, exercise-wise. I know I'm totally out of subject, but tell me, comment below. What do you like to do for exercise? Do you like to clean? Or do you like to do physical exercise like yoga and walking and jogging? I'm getting totally out of subject, but you know what I mean. Now let's talk about having guests on my show. I listen to a lot of podcasts lately. And I've listened to podcasts where there were guests on the show, even first-time podcasters like myself. I'm in the process now of bringing guests on my show. I truly am. And I've been recording this podcast on my phone for 6 months or so. And prayerfully, I would use a computer to record this particular podcast, Faith Talk. So the goal for this year, for doing this podcast even, is to have guests on my show, which will be wonderful because I would like to learn more about the other podcaster, or if they're not podcasters, then they're bloggers. They're vloggers for YouTube or Vimeo. I would love to have guests on my show. And again, I'm working on that. So are you a podcaster? Are you trying to get guests on your show? Please comment below. What do you like to do? I want to hear from you. Podcaster, vlogger, or blogger. I know I do have a website and a blog, Chandra's Food Adventures. Yeah, I would love to have guests on my show. I've been doing this podcast, long enough to know that I'm ready to have guests on this podcast. I told you I wasn't going to be long on the show because I'm pretty tired now. So anyway, if you are a podcaster, I'm going to need your advice. So what does having a guest on the show look like? How do you find a guest on your podcast? If you're a podcaster, I'm going to need your advice. Because I'm looking to go big. I truly am. It's time to make this podcast go big. It is time. So let me know what you think. You can leave me a comment on Apple Podcast or on my Facebook page. So as I said, I'm not going to be on this podcast very long. I just want to hear from you, the viewers, the podcast listeners. So is there an ideal guest that y'all can think of? If y'all can think of any guest, you can comment below on my Facebook page or Apple Podcast. Which reminds me, if you do love listening to Faith Talk with Chandra Thomas, you can leave me a 5-star review. So that way I can continue to do more podcasts like this. And as I said, you can listen to me on Apple Podcast. You can listen to me on Spotify, JioSaavn, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And just search Faith Talk with Chandra Thomas. And I look forward for us to speak again really soon. And may God richly bless you.